Man, it feels good to be talking about the Red Sox offense beating down on a team again, especially when it's the New York Yankees. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. What a huge weekend for Red Sox baseball. The Boston Red Sox were able to sweep the New York Yankees this weekend, winning both games in a doubleheader yesterday. That was the first time they've been able to do that since 2007. This latest Red Sox sweep puts them just 2 games out of third place in this division. This sweep also puts them right back in this wild card race, now only 2 games out of a wild card spot, and the Boston Red Sox offense was by far and away the tale of this series. So what we're going to do in today's videos, we're going to break down this latest Red Sox series. We're going to talk about all the good, all the bad, and we're going to talk about how this series can affect the rest of the 2023 season. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Of course, it's only right to start with the offense that, like I said, absolutely crushed New York Yankees pitching. Justin Turner, by far and away, once again, is the star of this series, and it was all mostly because of one singular game, because in the first game of this series, Justin Turner went 3 for 5 with a double, 2 home runs, one of which being a grand slam, resulting in 6 RBIs for Big Red, who is now truly becoming a staple in this Red Sox lineup. He is on a hot streak of all hot streaks. He started this series off right, and it was really a tone setter for the rest of the series. Justin Turner is very quickly becoming one of the most important people in this Red Sox lineup, and he is just, again, one of the most professional hitters I have ever seen. Masataka Yoshida also had a nice series. He didn't play in the third game, but in the first game, he had a 4-hit game, which was his first in Major League Baseball, which was also a 3 RBI night with 2 doubles, and in the second game, he had a triple as well. Masa was in a bit of a funk. All he really needed was a couple of days off, and he is back at it, swinging again the way we know Masa can swing. And dude, it is just incredible watching Masataka Yoshida take ABs, right? It's like a work of art. Alex Verdugo was hitting the ball all over the place in this one. He went 6 for 13 with 1 RBI, and more importantly, in my opinion, 6 runs scored. He had a couple of doubles in this series, which officially gives him the most doubles in baseball on the year. He has been so good at producing runs for the Red Sox, and that is not just an indication on Alex Verdugo. It's an indication of the Boston Red Sox finally being able to get that big hit. Tristan Casas had a pretty good series as well. He went 4 for 7 with 3 RBIs. 2 of those RBIs were the difference makers in the finale. I'm telling you guys, people keep saying he's not ready. People keep saying he's a bust. Tristan Casas has gotten better and better every single month, and he just keeps beating down on the New York Yankees. This guy is going to be a big player in the Red Sox offense come September. Kike had a pretty sneaky good series in this one as well. He went 3 for 8 in 2 games with an RBI. It would not shock me one bit if Kike's offense starts to turn around a little bit now that he's taken off of shortstop. Obviously, that is a huge weight on someone's shoulders, specifically when you're doing terrible at shortstop. Now that he's not really a full-time shortstop, we've started to see that bat increase a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if that is a trend that continues, because again, all that pressure being lifted off him could just naturally increase his ability to be productive at the plate. Now, those were the guys that really shined in this series, but the best part about this series is the fact that everyone was hitting, right? Duvall had some big hits. Devers had some big hits. Wong had an RBI. McGuire had an RBI off of catcher's interference, but still, Reese had a couple of RBIs. I mean, it's so refreshing to say after we made video after video talking about the Red Sox not being able to get the big hit. They finally, as a team, figure out how to get that big hit. It wasn't just like one guy was like, all right, I'm going to be Mr. Clutch in this series, even though Justin Turner really turned it on in this series. Everyone else was sort of following suit, right? Everyone was getting that big hit. And I honestly don't think that's something we've said at least until the Diamondback series, maybe even earlier than that, right? The Boston Red Sox have gone a long time without being able to get those clutch hits, and this is exactly exactly what they did in this series. Now, we preach on this channel that this Red Sox team lives or dies by their offense, and we saw exactly why I say that all the time in this series, right? The Red Sox offense was absolutely firing on all cylinders. The Red Sox pitching took advantage of a squandering Yankees offense, and this is what happens. A sweep that puts yourself back into competition in this division, back into the competition in the AL wild card. And if I'm being honest, this was exactly what we as fans needed from this Red Sox team, and exactly what this Red Sox team needed offensively, right? We needed to see them fight, and they fought. As for the pitching in this series, it was really good. I think part of that has to do with the Yankees offense being extremely terrible right now, but obviously part of that is also the fact that the Red Sox starting pitchers are stepping up. Game 1, we got Tanner Houck, who ended up going 4 innings, allowing just 1 run on 4 hits and striking out 2. Unfortunately, obviously, his outing was cut short on a really scary moment where he eventually suffered a facial fracture. If you want the most up-to-date information on Tanner Houck, there is a video on my channel. Game 2, we got an opener of Caleb Ort, and honestly, outside of Gleyber Torres' home run, it was a pretty decent couple of innings. He went 2 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, and again, those 2 earned runs while striking out 4. And I gotta say, I really appreciate Ort going out there and just simply not sucking. I'm gonna be honest with you, I totally thought he wasn't going to do very well, especially after that Gleyber Torres home run, but he settled in and he gave you at least enough oomph to get to the bullpen and allow you to use your bullpen for the rest of that game. So honestly, shout out Caleb Ort in this series. Game 3, and finally we got Brayan Bello to wrap this thing up, and he put on a show. Once again, he went 7 innings, allowing just 4 hits and 1 earned run while walking 3 and striking out 8. That is flat out an ace appearance, right? And honestly, Brayan Bello's been giving you ace appearances for the last couple of weeks now. Over his last 6 starts before this one, he has a 2.83 ERA, and that's getting even lower with this start as well. His ERA is now down to the pretty low 3s, and he is looking fantastic. This dude is developing into something special, and I could sit here and gush about Brayan Bello all day, but I am so happy that the Boston Red Sox finally have a true, talented, top of the rotation type homegrown pitcher. As for the bullpen in this series, there are a couple guys that we need to shout out. The first being Chris Murphy, coming up here and joining the 27-man roster for the doubleheader, coming in again against a pretty feeble New York Yankees, but the New York Yankees in Fenway Park nonetheless for his second appearance ever, and he was able to go 2 2/3 innings, allowing just 1 hit and striking out 3. Outside of a couple of guys in the first game of this series, the bullpen was absolutely nails, and to be honest with you, who cares about the first game because the Boston Red Sox scored 1 million runs. Another guy that I want to shout out from the bullpen, Nick Pivetta, he ended up going 3 innings in the second game and struck out 4 batters without giving up a single hit or a single walk. He is really becoming a genuine piece to this Red Sox bullpen, and I would be pretty shocked to see him back in the rotation because of how important he's becoming to this bullpen. Obviously, the trio of Winkowski, Martin, and Kenley were absolutely airtight, right? Those guys continue to be super impressive, almost shutting down games, getting through really tough innings. Those guys are truly the backbone of this bullpen, and they continue to be fantastic game in and game out. One thing I also want to highlight in this series was the defensive plays for the Boston Red Sox, which it's been a while since I've even considered doing a defensive segment, but in the last game alone, you were getting defensive plays all over the place. I'm not going to go through every single play that was made, so I'll just show a quick highlight reel over when I'm talking right here and maybe a little bit past that. Overall, this was a massive series for the Boston Red Sox. Not only did you sweep, again, a struggling New York Yankees team at home, but you are now firmly over 500 again, and you are firmly back in this wild card race, just 2 games out of it. That is one really good series away from being in a wild card position after it felt like the world was crumbling on top of you in over the last couple of weeks, right? It truly felt like the Red Sox were falling from grace over the last couple of weeks. So to stop that in this big of a way is absolutely massive. And I think, again, the biggest part of this series for the Boston Red Sox has to be their offense, and specifically being able to get that big hit. Again, Alex Verdugo was able to score 6 runs over this series. That's more than we have seen Alex Verdugo score in a very long time, and it's an indication that, hey, guys are still maintaining that approach where they are getting on base, they are moving station to station, the next guy up type mentality that we saw at the beginning of the year, but now you're actually capitalizing on it like we haven't been able to do over the last couple of weeks. To me, that was by far and away the biggest takeaway from the New York Yankees series, and in my opinion, this was the perfect momentum builder. Now it's time to capitalize on it, right? You're facing the Twins for 4 games, and you're facing the Chicago White Sox for 3. That is 7 games over this next week that you need to take advantage of, have a winning record against, push yourself closer and closer to being legitimately competitive in this division, whether that's moving up to 4th or 3rd place, whether that's moving within a game or a game and a half of the wild card. We need to keep building on this momentum and continuing to improve throughout June, because again, June is one of the most important, if not the most important month of the 2023 season, and it's time to turn that around right now after a really great New York Yankees series. But that's just my opinion, so let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think of this latest Red Sox series? What did you think of the Red Sox offense, the defense, the pitching? What did you think of the Red Sox sweeping the New York Yankees? And what do you think it means that the Red Sox are now back in contention for a wild card spot? Let me know all your thoughts on the latest Red Sox series in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seat.